So I just wanted to take this time to acknowledge all mothers who are moms because they slept with the wrong man. They slept with the enemy. Today is Mother's Day, May 11th, 2025. And that is what happened to me. I got pregnant. I was 20 years old. I slept with the enemy and he ejaculated in me. He nutted in me and did not tell me. He did not say anything. I missed my period. And when I took a pregnancy test, it came out positive. And I went to the emergency room and they confirmed it and said that I was 6 weeks pregnant. I was 6 weeks along. This video is going to be a long video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about stealthing, which is a new term that I discovered and learned. But the concept behind it, I was already aware that that happens. And I also want to talk about pregnancy entrapments. I've talked about pregnancy entrapments on my channel, but because today's Mother's Day, and I know that I'm not the only woman who slept with the enemy and got pregnant, I'm not the only woman that was entrapped with a child. And I'm a mom of twins. My twins are 11 years old. So you have to be very careful who you lie down with. Sex is a beautiful thing with the right person, with the right man. When a man entraps you with a baby, that is power and control. That is power and control. And the reason why a man will entrap you with a baby, get you pregnant on purpose, is to entrap you. He wants to entrap you in a relationship with him. And he wants to entrap you in an abusive relationship. And that's why you have to be careful who you lie down with. Now, stealthing is when a man removes a condom, secretly removes a condom without a woman being aware, without you being aware, or he tampers with it and pokes a hole in the condom. Now, the reason why a man will do this, there's two reasons. Either he is trying to entrap you, get you pregnant, or he is trying to infect you with an STI or STD. And there are beautiful women who have HIV or they have herpes because they slept with the enemy and lie down with a jealous man. Now, I thank God that I've never had a sexually transmitted disease. Now, I did end up getting pregnant. And this is what a jealous man does. If a man is jealous, possessive, narcissistic, and abusive, he will get you pregnant on purpose. If a man is jealous of you, jealous and envious of you, he will either get you pregnant or he will infect you with a sexually transmitted disease. He will. And this is the reason why you need to be very, 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 very careful. Sex is very dangerous when you are sleeping with a jealous man, with the wrong man, sleeping with the enemy. That's why I put the thumbnail, I titled the thumbnail, Sleeping with the Enemy. Because, a man that does that to a woman, that's why I'm taking the time to acknowledge women who this has happened to. That happened to me. My children's father, he's deceased. Not going to share how he died. He passed away, but still. And I know in previous videos, I said I didn't learn from that. I did. God put it in my spirit this morning. I was, doing my skincare in the bathroom and God put it in my spirit. Holly, you did learn from that situation. You got on birth control. And I was like, you know what? I did learn from that situation. Although I got into another karmic connection, I did learn from that situation when my children's father got me pregnant on purpose. I got on birth control. Now, I'm not going to share what birth control method I was on. I'm not currently on birth control because I'm not having sex. I've been abstinent over 5 years, and I am not going to be intimate with a man that, you know, I'm not in love with. If we're not in love, he's not madly in love with me. If I don't trust him, if he has not made me a wife, I'm just not going to go there. I'm just not going to get intimate with him. Ladies, do not have sex with a man that is not in love with you, that's not committed to you. You can't see a future with him. He hasn't made you a wife. If he's jealous, possessive, abusive, I would not be opening up my legs. I would not do it. It's dangerous. And so I'm taking the time to, I just want this video is to acknowledge all mothers who, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all moms, but since this video is exclusively for women who are mothers because they were entrapped by a jealous man, a jealous, abusive man, happy Mother's Day to you. You still deserve to be honored and acknowledged. Even though you didn't ask to be a mom, your children didn't ask to be here, it still happened to you. You're still a mother. And so I'm putting this video out not only acknowledge mothers who were entrapped by a man, but I'm also putting this video out to educate women. Be careful who you screw. Be careful who you lie down with. Now, these pregnancy entrapments, these pregnancy entrapments are happening a lot in the Black community because domestic violence is really bad in the Black community. And so Black women, listen up. Be careful, with sleeping with Black men, because a lot of Black men are doing this to Black women. And this is also happening in Spanish communities. It's more prevalent in the Black community and in the Spanish communities from the research I've done. So be careful who you get intimate with. Another thing I want to say is that stealthing is a punishable crime. If a man, now my children's father did not use protection, and I was not on birth control, but he ejaculated in me and did not tell me. So that is a form of stealthing. Now, stealthing is a crime. It is considered a form of the R word. I'm not going to say the R word because YouTube does not like when people say the R word. So stealthing is a form of the R word. A man, I couldn't find any research about a man ejaculating in a woman without her being aware if it's a form of the R word or sexual assault. But in my opinion, if a man ejaculates in you and does not say anything, that is a form of the R word. Even if the sex was consensual, if a man ejaculates in you without telling you, that is the R word. That is sexual assault. That is a sexual crime. And I would report it. I would report it. Now, stealthing, on the other hand, is when a man removes a condom without telling you. Or he pokes a hole in the condom, tampers with it, with the intentions of either getting you pregnant or infecting you with a sexually transmitted disease. And herpes, there are women who have herpes. Beautiful women who have herpes or HIV, and there is treatment for herpes and HIV, but it is not curable. which means you are stuck with it for life. And I thank God my children's father could have easily gave me a sexually transmitted disease. He could have easily infected me with something, but I thank God that that did not happen. Now he got me pregnant, but there are women that would have been worse. So that's why I say sex is dangerous when you're sleeping with the wrong man, when you're sleeping with a snake, when you're sleeping with the devil, when you're sleeping with the enemy. So you got to be careful who you have sex with. You know, I'm saving myself for my future husband. You know, if I'm not in love with a man, we're not in love, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So, stealthing is a punishable crime. It is a crime in California. It is a crime in some countries such as the United Kingdom, New England, Germany. It is a crime for a man to remove a condom without a woman being aware or tampering with the condom. And if this happens to you, depending on what state or country you live in, if you live in a state or country where stealthing is a punishable crime, you could prosecute him for that. And from the research I have done, you know, it's a crime. It's a crime, and it's a punishable crime. And he can face prison time. So to prevent this from happening, you just need to be very careful with men. You need to vet men. Take the time to get to know them. Vet them. Vet them. Yes, you can wait until marriage to have sex, and he can still be, you know, you can still end up sleeping with the enemy. So that's why, in order to prevent this from happening, you have to vet men. Don't ignore red flags and warning signs. Get to know him. The only kind of man that would do this to a woman and trap a woman with a baby, or intentionally infect her with HIV or herpes or some other sexually transmitted disease or sexually transmitted infection, is a jealous man. It's a jealous man. Well, really, if a man tries to, you know, a man that gives you herpes or HIV on purpose, he's jealous of you. He's not trying to. It is a form of entrapment, because that will infect future relationships. You won't be able to have sex if you have herpes. And there's people that, you know, are having sex and they have herpes and HIV, and that's dangerous. That's trifling. That will infect your future relationships. So it is a form of entrapment, a man getting you, infecting you with a sexually transmitted disease that is incurable. It will impact your future relationships. Now, that's a jealous man. A jealous man will do that. If you are a beautiful one, that's why beautiful women need to be very, very careful with men. You need to guard yourself. Don't allow any kind of man to date you. Don't allow any kind of man to sleep with you. You need to protect yourself, especially if you are a beautiful woman, because there are jealous men out here who will do that to you. They will sleep with you just with they will have sex with you with an ulterior motive. They have ulterior motives. Getting you pregnant, giving you some STD you can't get rid of. Now, a man entrapping you with a baby, that's a power and control move. That's a power move. That is to entrap you in a narcissistically abusive relationship. Any man that entraps a woman with a baby is a narcissist. That is not only a jealous man, but that is a narcissist. So, you know, ladies, just be very careful who you get intimate with. Be careful who you have sex with. Take your time. Take your time. Vet these men out here. You know, when a man is abusive, there will be signs. You know, a jealous and possessive man, if a man is jealous and possessive, he will entrap you with a baby so fast. So fast. Now, I've been abstinent over 5 years. I'm not on birth control because I'm not having sex. Abstinence is the best form of birth control. Abstinence is birth control. And I'm not going to have sex with a man that I'm not in love with. We're not in love. If, you know, I'm just not going to do it. If we're not married, no, I'm not doing that. So, ladies, if you are a mom because you were entrapped by a man, your children are still your blessings. You know, I love my children, even though, you know, despite the circumstances of, you know, them being here because of an entrapment, that, you know, I still love my children irregardless. You know, they are, some people might say they are entrapment babies. And that's exactly what happened. They are a result of an entrapment. They are here because of an entrapment. But still, they are still my blessings. And I still love them. I love my children. So I just wanted to take this time to acknowledge that and spread awareness on this. So, you know, if you're going to be out here engaging in casual sex or having sex, make sure you are on birth control. And there's different forms of birth control. You just have to choose the one that's best for you. There are hormonal and non-hormonal birth control methods. And make sure you are using condoms. If you're having sex, make sure not only you are on birth control, you are using condoms, and make sure he's not removing it. If you have to, you know, check to make sure the condom is still on, that he still has the condom on, clearly you don't trust him. You're sleeping with the enemy. If you have to check, look back, then, you know, if check to make sure the condom is still on, you don't trust him. Don't have sex with a man you can't trust. Do not have sex with a man that you cannot trust. So just be very careful, ladies. There was something else I wanted to say, but I just totally forgot it. So yeah, birth control. Use birth control. Make sure you're on birth control. Make sure you're using condoms. So yeah, I just wanted to take this time to acknowledge all moms who are moms because they were entrapped. And this entrapment happened 11 years ago. Actually, back in 2014, over 11 years ago. My daughters are 11. You know, I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I'm just spreading awareness, you know, because I don't want, there's not enough awareness. And I don't want this to happen, continue to keep happening. You know, I advocate abstinence until marriage. But again, if you're going to be having sex, be careful who you have sex with. Make sure you're on birth control. Make sure you're using protection. So if you're not going to wait until marriage, at least make sure, you know, you're in a serious relationship and a committed relationship. If you're not going to wait until marriage, you better make sure that man crazy in love with you. That man better be committed to you. That man better be serious about you. Me personally, I'm not going to have sex with a man that's not serious about me. It's not committed to me. It's not in love with me. Hasn't made me a wife. I'm not doing it. You know, you know, I don't do one night stands. I don't do casual sex. That's a turn off to me. You know, that's a turn off. That is just, you know, I love myself too much. I respect myself. I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot, you know, so don't want to drag this video out too long. I knew that this video would be long, but I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to spread awareness and acknowledge all mamas who are moms because as a result of sleeping with the enemy. You know, I don't hate my children's father. I did not hate him, but what he did to me was not fair. A man getting you pregnant on purpose to entrap you is not fair. It is not fair. But this is something that happens. And this is something that I have learned from. I got on birth control. So, happy Mother's Day to all moms. And happy Mother's Day to moms who were entrapped because they slept with the enemy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next upload.